Hey everybody, it's Mike Pingel. Welcome to another special holiday edition of Collector's Haven. I'm Mike Pingel, your host, and today, I know I've already done a Wonder Woman collector already this season, but I had Christopher's Christmas tree stopped me in my tracks because I was like, I have to have him on the show because he has a Wonder Woman Christmas tree that is a must to see. Not only does he have a huge room of collectibles on Wonder Woman, Lynda Carter, etc., but he's built like a movie theater. So it's going to be exciting to see, folks. It's going to be exciting. That said, Christopher, welcome to the show.
Hi, Mike. Thanks for having me. Happy holidays.
I love your hat. Why is there no Wonder Woman on it?
Because Wonder Woman is wearing the one with Wonder Woman on it.
That is a good answer.
We'll get to that. Thanks.
That's a very good answer. Okay, so before we look at the tree, before we reveal it, because it's right behind
Okay. We'll bring this way.
how have you, this is the first time you've done the tree, or have you done it throughout?
This is the first time I've had this room finished. So this is definitely the first year for the tree. And it kind of happened by accident, to be honest. I wanted to put up all my Christmas stuff, and I didn't know where it was going to go because this room was just finished this year. And my friend Keith came over and he was helping me, and I was going to do a little tree, put some ornaments on it in the main theater area. And I have this pub table in the bar area that is basically just Lynda Carter's legs for the tabletop. And Keith looked up and he said, put the tree right there. And it didn't dawn on me. Once I put it up there, I was like, that's just brilliant. And it started from there. So, and then I don't know how I got the idea to put the Christmas topper on it. I have the gal in her armor. Instead of an angel on the top, it's her in her armor, which it fit the tree perfectly. It was a perfect size. It lights up, and it all just came together.
Well, perfect. Well, let's show it. Let's unveil it to everyone to watch it.
Here we go. You ready? Let me turn it around here.
Totally ready.
Here we go. I've got some presents at the bottom, of course, and then you can see the table. And then we've got all sorts of Wonder Woman ornaments on there that I've had literally, some of them I've had for years, and then some of them are brand new this year, like the Lynda Carter one there. I've got another Lynda Carter one here. Hall of Justice is new this year. But then there are vintage ones too. You know, this one came out, I think, like in the 80s maybe. This one here is from the 70s. And then obviously we've got Gal at the top as the angel on the top of the tree. So that is the Wonder Tree.
Wow. Let's take it all in.
Okay, we're gonna unpack this a little bit. And then I've got some other Christmas collectibles that I just kind of put in down here. You know, there's a book of Christmas carols. There's the there's actually 2 holiday pops that I've got just kind of mixed in with my with the gifts down here. There's an old vintage Christmas record. You know, just all kinds of little Christmassy things that I had. I just kind of wanted to incorporate. So that's
wow. So go a little slower and let's look at those Christmas presents. Is that like Wonder Woman wrapping paper too?
Oh yeah, they're all Wonder Woman wrapping paper. They're all mostly new. I didn't use any. I do have some vintage wrapping paper and some ribbons from the 70s, but I didn't really want to dive into those because, you know, they're vintage. But these are all ones that have come out within the past couple of years. So I bought extra knowing that I was going to eventually do this. And, you know, there aren't actually things in the boxes. Obviously, they're just display. They're just empty cardboard boxes. But I'm going to keep them like this, you know, and then just bust them out every year.
Wow. Okay. So what is your favorite Christmas Wonder Woman ornament on the tree?
Oh, that's a tough one. I really love the invisible jet, which I don't know if you can see that up here at the top.
Well, of course that is invisible. I can't see it.
So that's one of my favorites, though, just because the invisible jet in general is one of my favorite things about Wonder Woman. And you don't see, there's not a heck of a lot of stuff made. I mean, of course, there's some toys and models here and there, but nothing compared to as much as I would like. So that's one of my favorites. And the vintage one also, that one there is one of my favorites. And obviously the Lynda Carter ones too, because, you know, they didn't make a lot of Lynda Carter stuff for a long time. And it wasn't until recently that they really started producing more. So I'm really happy to see those.
That is an amazing Christmas tree. I got to tell you.
Thanks.
It stopped me in the tracks when I saw it on Facebook, so I'm glad you're showing it us.
Yeah, there's all kinds of cool stuff on here too. Like, you know, this one plays music. The Hall of Justice plays the Super Friends theme song. There's a couple that Hallmark had come out with where you could personalize and put your own photos on them. It's in here somewhere. I have a picture. Oh, here it is. This one has actually a picture of me and Lynda Carter together on it, because that had to make the tree, of course. This one's kind of funny too. It's supposed to be a bobblehead, but if it's hanging from its head, it doesn't bobble. So I'm not really sure if they thought that through. But so yeah, those are some of my favorite ones. And of course, I got the string lights with the emblem on them, and I wrapped those throughout there. And then most everything is actually intended as a Christmas ornament, but I did have a couple things on here that were not ornaments that I sort of turned them into, like this little voodoo doll. I found her in New Orleans actually during Halloween. I thought she was really cool, so I thought she'd make a cool ornament. There's a couple of things that are in here too, like keychains that I just turned into ornaments. So who knows, maybe next year I'll get 2 trees or spread it out a little bit and get more creative. And I've got a lot of little toys and things that could have easily been made into ornaments as well. So
that's fantastic. What I love most is the legs. The legs are what
that's what sells it, right?
That is it. Those are Lynda Carter's legs, huh?
Well, I like to think so. I actually had the first person to see this, aside from my friend Keith that gave me the idea, was my friend Hannah. And she walked in and she said, "If a Christmas tree on top of Wonder Woman's legs isn't my new favorite thing, then I don't know what is." And I was like, I get that.
I understand. I love her for that. I love that. I'm stealing that quote. It's great.
Yeah, oh, go for it. I'm sure she won't mind.
That's great. All right. Christmas tree, Christmas tree, Christmas tree. I also have the Funko new Christmas Wonder Woman. I think she's amazing too. I think that little thing.
The little one with the rope light. That one there.
Yes.
Yeah, that is really cool. I got 2 of them because a lot of times with the Pops, I just buy one and I don't take them out of the box, but that one was just too cool. I had to buy 2 so that I could display one of them.
All right, well, let's dive into some. How did you get into collecting?
How did I get into collecting?
Yeah.
You know, it really wasn't something I did intentionally. I had, I loved the show when I was a kid, and I was at a toy show and I found, some really old vintage Wonder Woman items. And I thought, oh, that's pretty cool. And then one item led to another item, which led to another. And before I knew it, I was collecting stuff. So it just kind of snowballed, really.
So were you a fan of the comic book first, or were you a fan of Lynda Carter's?
No, originally I think Super Friends is where I first saw her. And then, of course, after that was the TV show. And then that was it for me. I was hooked. That was the be-all, end-all. But, it's funny, though, like after the TV show and, after, growing up and being a teenager and an adult and not really thinking about it too much until I saw these collectibles. And then it reminded me of how much I loved her when I was a kid. And then I kind of got back into the character again after not really thinking about her for a long time.
Excellent. What was the very first, do you remember which the very first collectible you bought or have?
I do. It's a Mego doll, which I'm sure you're familiar with. Let me flip around here. I'll show you her.
Oh, which one?
Let me take this off of her. It's obviously the Lynda Carter doll. She's been with me since I was a little kid. She is actually missing a foot, but you can't tell if her boots are on. So she's definitely seen better days. Her hair is a hot mess. Her outfit is pretty worn, but she was my first collectible. I've actually got some really cool pictures of me as a little kid holding her. I mean, everywhere I went when I was a little kid, that doll came with me. So she's in a lot of my childhood photos.
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. So would that be your prized possession that you have, or is there another item that's your prized possession in your whole collection?
That's actually a really tough question. I don't know that I have a specific prized possession. I mean, you know, a lot of the vintage stuff I love. I love my, I have a full-size statue, which I can show you in a minute, of Linda. That's one of my favorite things, just because it's unique. Not a lot of people have it. But as far as favorites go, the Mego doll is probably one of my favorite, for sure.
Excellent. All right, well, let's look a little bit more about your rooms.
Sure. So let me flip you around here. I'll show you the bar. Am I flipping? There we go. So this is the bar area, as you can see. I've got all my pint glasses up here against the wall, and then of course the booze in the middle. And then over here, I've got my gal poster. I have one of my autographed Lynda Carter posters is behind the tree. You can't really see the autograph, but it's in there. And then just some random things here and there that are up on the wall at the moment. Over here, I've got this awesome picture that my mom actually found for me at a store in Long Beach years ago. Some of this stuff in here too, it's kind of funny how it just ended up where it ended up. I didn't really have any rhyme or reason to where I put anything, with the exception of the pint glasses. I knew I wanted them behind the bar, obviously, to give it a bar look. And then I have some food items that I put back here. I call this area the pantry, because, until the movie came out, there really wasn't a lot of stuff that had her on it. In 2017, when the first movie came out, was when we first got, her on a can of Pepsi or Dr. Pepper. The first time she's ever been in her entire 80 years on a cereal box. This all happened fairly recently. So, I collected as much of that as I could. It's all sort of condensed in this area. Most of the boxes are empty because I didn't know how do you collect a food item, without it melting or getting moldy or whatever. So most of the boxes are empty. And then I've just got some random collectibles in here, some action figures. Over here on this side, I've got different Doritos that are literally from all over, some from Thailand, Puerto Rico, Greece, all over the place, Mexico. So that's my little pantry area.
Okay, and before we leave, hold on, go back in that room. Are those Wonder Woman stockings above the door?
Oh, yes, those are Wonder Woman stockings. I found those at Wizard World Philly a long time ago. There was just a local artist who made them, and she was selling them. I thought they were so cool, so had to have those. And then I've got a couple of the newer ones, hanging up here. And I did, before I wrapped all these gifts, I had Wonder Woman stockings that went all the way across the chail rail of the bar over there. But you can't really see them now because I wrapped so many gifts. I mean, there's a couple of them peeking through, but none of those are all too collectible or rare. But my Lynda Carter ones I thought were pretty cool. That's why I featured them, up here so you can really see them.
Absolutely. Now, also, when you went in the pantry, was there a Santa Claus with Wonder Woman there?
Yes, that's right here. This is Figures Toy Company. I don't think it's available anymore. I got it a few years ago. It does say limited edition on it. But it's just something that as soon as I saw it, I knew I had to have it because I actually have a lot of different holiday things for not just Christmas, but for all holidays throughout the year. And I knew I wouldn't be able to show everything at once because I just don't have the space, to have everything out. I've got cases and cases of stuff still packed. But I knew I would have that with my Christmas stuff. So, when I have my Halloween stuff, I have all types of costumes and pumpkins and Halloween statues of her as a zombie and whatnot that I bust out during Halloween. And then I pack that up and I bring out the Christmas stuff. During the summer, I'll have my, I've got like pool floaties. I have an inflatable invisible jet and beach balls and beach towels. And so I plan on just switching stuff out throughout the year so that I get to see everything and simply just because there's not enough space. I mean, I would have to triple the size of this room to really show and display everything properly.
Absolutely. Now, go back. What is that big thing on the wall with Wonder Woman holding her lasso above the bar?
Oh, that's a light that I made.
That was a commission thing?
No, well, sort of. I had the idea. I saw that image. It's Alex Ross image that was in Entertainment Weekly. It was an exclusive piece of art he did for them. And I just loved it. I thought it was really cool. And immediately in my head, I knew that's exactly what I wanted to put as like a header, like a sign for above the bar. So I took the image and I put, the text on it that says Wonder Bar, and I had it printed oversized, and then on like a piece of foam core. And then I bought the lasso separately. It's just neon, and I stretched it out and I pulled it across and looped it on either side to mimic what was in the original drawing. And that's how that came to be. I think it turned out pretty cool.
Very creative and wonderful. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Thanks. Hopefully Alex Ross doesn't see it and try to sue me.
No, I think he's going to see it and then steal the idea and sell it.
Okay, well, that's fine. As long as I'm not getting sued, I'm fine with that.
No, I think he's going to steal the idea. It's a good idea. It's amazing.
I don't know if you can get a closer look in here. I actually did took some decals, and I took the labels off of the original bottles. So I made like Wonder Woman tequila and Wonder Woman vodka, Wonder Woman vermouth, and Wonder Woman bourbon. So they're all, I know what's in each bottle, luckily, because I'm the bartender, so I'm not going to get them mixed up, but I thought that was just a really cool touch to, kind of make it really the Wonder Bar.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Thanks.
So I've been seeing a lot of stuff from 1984, the new movie.
Yes.
I don't know about you, but I'm loving what they're doing with all the advertising and all the imagery they're doing. It's just amazing.
Yeah, the posters are so cool. Probably every month or so, they've come out with another image, and they've been really, really cool. I have actually just put this one in here. I had a different poster here before. I switched this one out because it's red and green mostly, and I felt it looked Christmassy. And then after I put that up, they came out with like 3 more. So like I said, I keep altering stuff and putting different things out. The posters behind me here, I actually have switched out a couple times already too. Just because I want to see different things and keep it moving. I don't think this whole area, the whole bar, and even the theater, it's never really going to be finished or complete. It's always going to be changing. I'm always going to be adding new things or changing things. So which is cool, because like I said earlier, I have so much stuff that's still in storage that I would love to show that there just isn't space. And a lot of collectors, as you know, I'm sure from doing the show, a lot of collectors will, I guess, put things in such a way that they're almost like stacked up. And it's just because space is always an issue as a collector. You have to get creative. And I didn't want things to be stacked on top of things or buried behind other things. I wanted to really be able to see everything. So as I was unpacking my Wonder Woman stuff, when the room was finally finished construction, I was sort of mindful of that so that I could only see or display things that were most important to me to see, or things I know I could bust out later, just so that it doesn't look like stuff piled on top of stuff and stuff that's buried in there. I really wanted to be able to access things, which is another thing we'll get to when I do actually show you the theater. I have this enormous poster that it's really rare. It was hard to find, and it takes up so much valuable real estate that I think that's next on the checklist. I think it's going to go back in storage. Not go, hold on, calm down. No, it's definitely going to get rolled up and put back in storage, because the space that it takes up is I could put a whole nother bank of shelves there and display like a whole nother bookshelf or two full of other things. So things are always going to be rotating and changing.
Okay, before we go and see that poster, is there a Lynda Carter mirror I see over there by the bar?
You have a very good eye. There sure is.
I do.
That's her right there. And I actually, it doesn't come up too often. Like I said earlier, they didn't really produce a lot of Lynda Carter stuff. And that's one of the things that it was produced back in the 70s, but I don't think it was officially licensed.
Is that a drawing of her?
It's like a line drawing. It's painted on the glass. I saw somebody else have, it doesn't come up very often, but I did see one for sale recently, and they had redone the frame and they had reframed it, and it looked really, really great. And I thought about doing that to mine, but I don't know. I also kind of like the way that it looks 70s. It looks old and vintage. So I was kind of like, do I redo it? Do I leave it like it is? But I opted to just leave it. So.
Okay, I think we're ready to go to the other room. I think I'm ready.
Oh boy.
I think I'm ready. Are you guys ready? I'm ready. Okay. Let's go.
All right, so let's go. I'm going to flip you around here so you all can see.
Hey, flip me around. What?
All right. So this is the entrance here to the theater. As you can see, my friend Brandy and I redid the concrete floors. And of course got the Wonder Woman decals on there. Those were made by Fathead. I don't know if you've ever seen those. They're meant to go on the wall, like of your kid's bedroom. But as soon as I saw them, I knew I was going to have a concrete floor in here, and I thought that's perfect to have the classic costume on one side, flanking that side of the room, and then the newer version over here on this side. So that worked out perfectly. And then, you know, over here, I've got this great sign. This was when the home video came out. It was a window cling that was supposed to go out to like Target stores, Walmart, wherever they sell videos. And my friend Susan actually had an extra one, and she was kind enough to send it to me. So my friend Corby and I mounted it. We put the lights in, and we made it into like a box office window, sort of. So like I said before, too, not everything is completely finished in here. So there's, you know, like most of my pops are down here on the floor, just sort of neatly stacked. But that's not how I want to display them. You know, I do eventually want to get them out where you can really see them better. And, you know, unless you want to come over and sit on the floor, which most people don't, you know, eventually they're going to end up somewhere, maybe on a shelf higher up on the wall. You know, but then of course, here's the main screen. And I have a little stage here as well for, you know, if we ever have karaoke or whatever, I've got the karaoke machine. And then of course, I'll flip you around this way, and you can see the majority of the room here. Got all the seating. And then my full-size Lynda Carter statue is right over here. She's wearing the Wonder Woman Santa hat you asked about earlier. And then of course I have the image of her that the statue is based on right behind her. And then I have an autographed original picture here that you've probably seen this before in different colors. I think there's about 3 or 4 different ones. Linda's got one. I think my friend Sebastian has another one. I think this other friend Frank has one. This one's pretty rare too. This one came from South America. It's a large bus stop poster. It originally came folded, so it's got all these horrible creases in it, but I had it mounted on foam just to kind of preserve it as best I could. And like I said earlier too, when this room was finished, it had been under construction for such a long time. There have been so many delays. There's a lot of problems. I don't know if you've ever had a remodel done, but there's always something that comes up. So there was a lot of issues, and it took way longer than it was supposed to. So once the room was actually finally finished, I was in such a hurry that I sort of unpacked everything as it was packed. That's how it got unpacked. You know, I didn't really put everything specifically how I envisioned in my head that I wanted to display things. It was sort of like, let's open the boxes, get the stuff out, get it up, and then I can reorganize it later. Well, reorganizing it later never happened. But, you know, some stuff is sort of cohesive because it was packed that way. You know, like my superpowers stuff from the early 80s, I'd like to keep together. So, you know, I've got the largest one here, and then going all the way up to the little teeny tiny baby one up in the corner. I thought that was a cool way to show those off. And of course, you know, my most important to me as far as my collectibles is the Lynda Carter stuff, because that's what really, you know, my love of the character came from her. So I wanted to feature that. I knew I wanted that stuff in the center, and in hindsight, I should have put it on the top just so I had a little bit more space, but it ended up here in the middle, which I might change later. I might flip-flop it and move it up, you know, but I've got all types of collectibles from the show and from the 70s are along this little area here. The original Mego that I showed you before, this one's not missing a foot because it's still in the box. You know, I've got a couple statues, a few busts, some custom-made action figures, custom dolls, of course, in the middle, and then another Invisible Jet toy, which is really cool. Like I said earlier, they really just never made a lot of Invisible Jets. They didn't make any back in the 70s. So a lot of them are coming out, you know, fairly recently. I actually have my idea is to hang them all up from the ceiling. I've only got 2 up there so far, but I do have them, you know, my other Invisible Jet toys are up there behind there. And I have a whole fleet of them on the floor ready to be hung up. It just hasn't happened yet. And then of course, this is the big poster I was telling you about earlier. It was a window display from MAC Cosmetics a long time ago. And whenever they do those store displays, any kind of store promotional stuff, they always tell you they're supposed to throw them out or get rid of them. Luckily, the store manager was a friend of mine, and he was able to salvage it before it got thrown in the dump. So that's really hard to find, and I'm really lucky to have it. But it does take up a huge amount of space, and I could easily use that space for all kinds of stuff. So it might be something that's going to be switched out soon. And there's another piece from that Mac collection back here, that cardboard header piece. You can see it on the back of that shelf. He also got me that. Those store displays are really cool. I love having those because they're so hard to get. And if you're a collector and you're watching this, you can go into Walmart and you'll see this giant display, and you'll ask the manager and say, "Can I have that?" And they're like, "Yeah, sure, give us your number." They never call you. Either that, or you'll come back and they'll say, "Yeah, we gave it to somebody else," or "Sorry, we threw it out."
Or you go back and Farrah Fawcett's head's ripped off the standee. Yes, I know.
Oh, so you're familiar. Yeah.
So
I was pretty lucky though. The Acme Market near me gave me this Hershey's display, which initially the manager said no. And I waited about 20 minutes and went back in the store and asked a different manager, and he said yes. So it really kind of depends on who you talk to. Same with this really cool Doritos box. That was just a limited thing. I don't think they were supposed to be giving them out. I've learned over the years, when you're trying to get this kind of stuff, it's best to not ask. I'm not endorsing anyone to go steal stuff. I'm just saying I have just picked up things and walked out with them, per se, something like that. I mean, it's a box. It did have chips in it. I did buy all the chips. Same with this Doritos box here. I bought the whole box, So I find that stuff like that, when there's a really cool packaging that I want with it, I will just pick up the entire box of whatever it is and then go to self-checkout and ring myself up so that the cashier doesn't even ask. Something like this, all these mini pops, I would have never been able to get this box to display them in with the header card unless I bought the whole box. So I just picked up the entire box off the shelf and then rang myself up at self-checkout. And now it's mine.
You're just going to throw those away. I think you're okay. I think you're safe on that.
They are, and it's infuriating because I know they're going to end up in the garbage. And same thing with all the Dorito bags that I have. They actually made a big Doritos display too that went out to all the grocery stores. I probably asked 15 different stores if I could have it, and I was not able to get one at all. And I know they ended up in the trash, but what can you do? I'm not going to buy them on eBay, which a lot of people do. I just think there's the markup on that stuff. Like when somebody sells something that they got for free, it always just kind of rubs me the wrong way.
That's true. That's true. Okay, so what is the weirdest collectible of Wonder Woman that you own?
I've got a couple weird ones, to be honest. This one comes to mind, the giant banana. I don't know whose idea it was or why, but I saw it at the state fair and had to have it. That's one of the weirder ones. I tell you, I've got another one in the pantry too that's very strange. And this one actually came all the way from Australia. My friend Rennie sent this to me. Let's see. Yeah, it's a diaper. It is a Wonder Woman diaper. Probably one of the weirdest things.
I love it.
Yeah, you don't see it very often. I mean, they actually did come out with Wonder Woman diapers here in the States, but it was years later. That one came out a while ago. This collectible isn't super weird, but it has a good story behind it. I don't know if you live in Southern California or you're in LA, whenever they're filming new movies or TV shows, there's always these big yellow signs on the light post that tell the cast and crew where to go for the filming location.
Yes.
Well, my friend Mike was in town. He was in San Diego for the Comic-Con. He came up to LA to see me. And this was in 2011 when they were filming the Adrian Palicki pilot. So we kind of knew the general area. We knew they were filming on Hollywood Boulevard. And we were on our way. We were driving up there, and we pulled up to a stoplight. I think it was on La Cienega. And I jumped out of the car real quick, and I snatched it right off the pole, threw it in the back seat, and I was like, "Drive, Mike, drive!" And he thought I was insane. But normally they don't tell you what the show is either. There's like initials or like,
no. Normally it's a production name or something weird.
Exactly, but this was pretty obvious. I knew they were filming, and I
so no wonder none of the crew could get to the set that day.
Well, I'm sure they made it. And then actually, once we got there, there's more. Once we got there,
you're killing me.
The scene that they were filming that day was this big action opening sequence on Hollywood Boulevard.
I was there. So, I took pictures that day. Yes.
I was there too. They actually, if you act like you're supposed to be there and just walk confidently, they don't question you. So the scene they were filming, all the extras were actually tourists with cameras. So we just walked right in with the extras and nobody questioned us. And I was given a crew map, a sheet with all of the call times on it that told me exactly which actors and actresses, where they were going to be. And then not only did I get that, I got the map that told me exactly where, if crew parking, where the base camp is, where all the celebrities' trailers were. So after we went back up, we watched the filming, and we kind of got stuck, actually. My friend Mike and I, long story, we ended up hiding in the bushes at the Hollywood and Highland Shopping Center. And we had a great view of the filming, but we did kind of get stuck there. But after the shoot, we went to the base camp where the celebrities were, and I walked right up to Adrian's trailer, and I didn't knock or anything. She just happened to come right out. She was wearing the costume. We took a photo together, which I don't have handy, but she did sign the comic for me that had just come out. And the costume's not exactly the same as what was worn in the TV show or the pilot, but it was pretty close. That's why I brought that one. So she signed that for me, which I have up here with my other, I've got a couple Lynda, I've got like 3 or 4 Lynda Carters that are all signed. Just every time I was able to meet her, I felt like I had to get something signed, even though it's like I already have one, but I'm here and I know I'm going to be there. So I had something signed pretty much every time I saw her. So I have quite a few collectibles that are signed. But as far as weird stuff goes, I think the banana and the diaper are pretty odd.
And so what was the hardest thing for you to find in your collection?
Well, the hardest thing to find is probably things that I'm still looking for, honestly. You know, there's a telephone that came out, I think, in the early 80s, late 70s.
You mean the one that Lynda Carter just had a picture with?
Yes, and it keeps eluding me. I keep finding it on Facebook, or I'm sorry, on eBay, and either the price goes way too high or somebody snakes me at the last minute. So I keep ending up missing it, but that's probably my number one thing that I would want. That and anything from the TV show, really. There was a really cool belt buckle that Lynda gave to the cast and crew that's got her insignia on it.
Yep.
You know, I've got some replica like bracelets and tiaras and stuff, but nothing that was actually used on the show. That would definitely be something that would be like the holy grail for me to find or to have as a collector.
So tell me the first time you met Lynda Carter and how was that for you?
The first time I met her, I'll show you, I have this little poster that was from that night. It was a concert that she was doing, and you know, she took a hiatus for a long time, and this was her big return. And it happened over my birthday. So a friend and I went for my birthday. And when we first got there, I mean, this was like 2004, 2005. I don't remember exactly what year it was. But when we first got there, I showed my tattoo that I have of her on me to the doorman. And she says, wait right here. I'm gonna show this to Lynda. She's gonna love this. Her manager came out. I met her manager. And then he says, find me after the show, you know, and we'll talk. So we had a great time at the show, obviously. And then after the show, I found him, and he says, come with me. He took me to the green room. He's like, I have to show Lynda this because I have a tattoo of Lynda Carter's face on my shoulder. And so she came out of the dressing room. I showed her my tattoo. She was so warm and so sweet to me. It was like, I know you've met her, so you know how she's very engaging, and she was almost like seeing your favorite aunt that you haven't seen in a couple of years. And she just kept hugging me as we were talking. She probably hugged me like 3 or 4 times. And she was almost acted like she was more excited to meet me than I was to meet her. Like, she really made you feel that way. So we talked about all sorts of things. And then I had her autograph my arm under her picture. And then we left there immediately and went and I had it tattooed, the autograph tattooed on. So that was the first time I met her, and because it went so well, it actually led to me meeting her other times because she remembered me. She remembered my tattoo. You know, she'd seen other people with Wonder Woman tattoos since then, but at that time, I think I was probably the first that she had seen. So she got a really big kick out of it, and it was great. And then, and she remembered me. Second time I met her, she didn't remember me at first, but once I showed her my tattoo, she was like, oh yeah, I know who you are. And then by the third time I'd met her, she actually remembered me by name. She was like, Christopher, and she pointed at me, and you could have knocked me over with a feather. Like, it was awesome. So I've been fortunate enough to meet her quite a few times now. But yeah, that was the first time I'd met her.
Oh, good. Okay, so back to your collection. What is your most expensive thing you have?
Oh, most expensive thing. I'm standing in it. Honestly, this was the most expensive thing. You know, I knew when I bought this house, or when I was even looking for a house, that I wanted a home theater. Like that, I'm a huge TV and movie junkie. I knew that had to be a part of it. I was thinking maybe it would be like a guest bedroom that I could turn into it. But I was really super lucky when I found this house, and this was used as an office. And as soon as I saw the space, I knew immediately that was going to be my home theater. And that's where I could finally display all my Wonder Woman stuff that had been, literally all of this had been packaged up and been in crates for a lot of it for years, that I haven't even laid eyes on it in so long, that when the room was finally done and I was unpacking everything, it was like 10 times better than any Christmas you could ever have, like opening everything. Because, you know, you forget stuff and you don't know what you have and what you don't have. So a lot of it was like seeing it for the first time. It was really exciting.
Oh, that's good. That's good. So I also see that you have parts of the slot machine.
I do. I've got 2 of them, and I knew what I wanted to do with them was flank both sides. Oops, sorry about that. I knew I wanted to flank both sides of that platform, you know, with them to kind of as end pieces or bookends for the room. And then my goal, if I can ever find the actual machine itself, and get the slot machine, they do connect together. So all 3 pieces would connect and make one unit. So I don't know where I'm going to put it, but if anybody out there has the slot machine and they want to donate it to me, I will find room.
Yeah, if you have the Charlie's Angels one, I want that one too. So how much do you think your entire collection is worth?
You know, I don't really pay attention to what stuff is worth so much when I'm buying it. I mean, of course, I do have some things that are valuable. A lot of it's actually not super valuable because a lot of it isn't hard to find. It's a lot of newer stuff. You know, the vintage stuff is, of course, valuable and hard to find, but the bulk of my collection is actually newer stuff because they've started making more stuff recently. So the value isn't really super important to me. And this goes back to, I started collecting a long time ago, and I actually lost my whole collection like 2008, 2009, and had to start over. So when I started over, I had a different mindset. You know, there are collectors who will buy something and not touch it at all. They'll leave it mint in the package, and that's what's important to them. Yeah. And that's how I was the first go round. But on the second go round, I just have a different outlook on it because I know I'm not going to sell it. Or if I do, you know, it's more important to me that I buy things that I'm going to use, like pint glasses behind the bar, or, you know, or pillows on the sofa. I buy things that I'm actually going to know I'm going to use. And I feel like I get more enjoyment out of things if I just open them, play with them. And, you know, I've got this one figure that came from Brazil, and it speaks. And if I had never opened it, I would never hear her saying things I can't understand, you know? And I've got all these other great toys that, you know, my friend John is a collector too. I'm pretty sure you know him. He came over, and the first time he saw the bar, his eyes were as big as saucers, not because he was impressed by what he was seeing, but he was like, you opened the dish towels, you're using your cups, you got this out there, like you took it out of the package. Like he thought it was nuts. So now I kind of have this, his J Brew is what I call him. And it's kind of a verb now. J Brew is a verb in the theater. I'm going to J Brew this, which means I'm going to open it and I'm going to play with it. And you know, I can just picture him rolling his eyes and his head at me every time I open something. But no, the value to me is only what it's worth to me, not necessarily what its resale value or, you know, what somebody else might think something is worth. So I don't know. I look at it differently, I think, than most collectors do. I don't look at it in terms of dollar amounts. I look at it as this is something that I enjoy, or that, you know, is valuable personally, not monetarily. So
nice.
Yeah.
So I saw the Lynda Carter bust. Can we look at that?
Which one?
The one that's by the
they're everywhere.
The big one by the TV.
The TV.
Oh, the theater thing. I don't know what you call it.
All right.
Screen.
I've got this one here. That one is the same artist that did my full-size Lynda Carter. He's his name is Dennis Matsunaga. He's in the Philippines. So they traveled quite a distance to get here. But the likeness, I think, he's really captured her perfectly. He does a lot of different busts and poses of not just Wonder Woman, but of a lot of other characters too. His work is really, really stellar.
So is that a custom piece?
Yeah, they're custom made. He makes them to order. This one, she did actually get damaged in shipping. It was shipped in several packages. And I have a cape, the cape that she wore in the TV show, the red, white, and blue with the stars. And when it's not Christmas, I do usually have the cape on it because the cape hides where she got broken. But you can see here in shipping, well, maybe you can't see it. It's kind of dark in here. But her whole shoulder is cracked and chipped up pretty bad on the backside. Luckily, it was on the back, and you can't really tell. And he offered to send me, touch-up paints and a little molding clay to repair it. But honestly, when the cape is on, it's fine. And I'm not artistic in that way, so I'm afraid I would make it worse by trying to fix it. So I'm just going to leave her as she is. And actually, before I got her, or before I even knew that was a thing, he made her in a much smaller size. It's about 3 foot tall here. So I got this one first, not knowing I was going to get another one that was life size. I mean, had I known, not that I wouldn't have bought it, but I probably would have bought a different pose because he does have different ones available that he makes.
Oh, nice. So can I ask how much would something like that cost?
At the time when I bought this one, I want to say she was $300 or $400. It really wasn't that much, especially considering, the smaller ones from the actual licensed ones are sometimes the same amount or more. That really wasn't that big of a hefty of a price tag. I think shipping was the most expensive part about her, to be honest. If I remember right, I want to say I paid like, I don't want to say the wrong number in case he's still selling them and I'm going to give out the wrong information, but I want to say I paid like $1,500 or maybe $2,000. I really don't remember. It's been so long. I bought her a long time ago, probably 6 years ago, I think. And it's funny because I bought her as soon as she became available. I knew I had to have one because of all of this was happening. And I said, that's perfect. So, but this room wasn't quite finished or not even close to being finished. So I had all the crates of everything that you see displayed here and all the boxes. Even the chairs were stacked up in other rooms of the house. I had a second guest room that was floor to ceiling, just filled with Wonder Woman boxes. And then for a little while, my dining room was full of Wonder Woman boxes of stuff. And so I had her in the dining room and I would forget. And I would come downstairs in the morning and she would scare the shit out of me. There was this woman standing there and I would literally jump because I forgot she was there. The dog barked at her for like a good solid month when I first had her. But yeah, she lived in the dining room for a little while. She lived in the hallway. I had to keep moving her around because she kept scaring me.
Well, it would have been funnier if you came down and she had cooked you dinner or breakfast. That would have been a little scarier.
Actually, I'm fine with that as long as she cleans up.
As long as she
no, but I mean, I still have so much stuff that, like I said, that, here's a bunch of stuff just on the floor because I'm just run out of room so quickly. I got all these kitchen appliances. I've got the blender and the coffee maker and the crock pot, the waffle maker, the popcorn maker, all the dishes, and I just don't have anywhere to put it. So, eventually it'll be up somewhere.
Horrible.
These are funny.
You need to make a Wonder Woman kitchen now downstairs.
I could. I was actually thinking about doing the first floor bathroom in Wonder Woman stuff because I have a ton of cosmetics and toiletries and bath towels and shower curtains and all that stuff too. I could easily deck that out, but it is the only bathroom on the first floor. So I figured that might be a little weird if you're not coming into the theater. So
yes. So are you excited to watch Wonder Woman 1984 in your theater?
I am, absolutely. I have been waiting for this moment, for this movie for so long. I mean, we all have. It's been delay after delay after delay. And I knew I wanted to get the theater done in time for the home video release. I had no idea it was going to be streaming available. So I actually started a campaign on Twitter too, where I was trying to get Patty Jenkins or Warner Brothers Pictures to let me have a fan screening of the movie here before it got released in theaters. Ooh. It actually did pick up some traction. I got people from Warner Brothers. I've got some stuff that they sent me. I have some people that were sending me messages telling me that Patty has seen the video because I made like a little video tour of the bar. But nothing ever came of it. I thought for sure I would get a fan screening, and The campaign kind of fizzled out, but I tried. And now I'm getting my
2020, what do you expect? It's 2020, you know.
Exactly. So no, I'm excited about it. I would really like to see it in the theater, especially in IMAX. But you know, I kind of live in a podunk area. We don't even have an IMAX where I live. So there's one in Annapolis, there's one in Columbia, probably a good hour-and-a-half drive. So you know, if the theaters are even open, I don't even know if they're going to be by then. But for now, I'm super happy that they're going to do streaming right away. The only thing that sucks is they are releasing the movie internationally on December 16th. We don't get it here until the 25th on Christmas Day. So if people are posting spoilers, which it's the internet, I'm sure it's going to happen, I'm going to be pissed. You know, I mean, there's all this talk of Lynda Carter possibly having a cameo in the movie, you know, and who knows what other surprises that are in there that we don't know about, that are totally going to be spoiled because, you know, it's like, what, 8 or 9 days before we get to see it. The rest of the world has seen it. They're going to be talking about it. It's going to be on Twitter. It's going to be on Facebook. So it would be nice if they rethought that release date and did a global release date all on the same day. I mean, I think at this point it's a done deal and it is what it is, but it kind of sucks for us in the US. I mean, it's great that we're going to get it, you know, right away and safely at home, but it also sucks because we're getting it way after everybody else. Yeah. And if people post spoilers, I'm going to show up at their door and have a few words.
Oh, you're going to be very busy, I think. Very busy.
I know.
Well, Christopher, thank you so much for sharing your Wonder Woman Christmas with us.
Absolutely.
And it's amazing. If I was there, I would be right there in the front row watching Wonder Woman with you. And on the 25th, I would be opening all those Christmas presents underneath the tree because I know they're all for me.
They are. They're just for you, Mike.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for having me.
Because they're empty. I know. Because they're empty. That's why they're for me.
Actually, it's funny because the boxes actually probably had Wonder Woman toys in them. They're from like Amazon or eBay. That's where I got the boxes from in the first place.
Amazing. Yeah. Amazing. Well, thank you for taking the time to showing us all of this amazing thing. Your tree knocked me over, and I'm amazed by it. And you are a Wonder Man. That's what you are.
Thank you so much. It's been a lot of fun. We'll do it again next year.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody out there in Facebook land and wherever you're watching this streaming from. Please share it with your friends and neighbors, and please like me on Facebook and YouTube channel. And come back for more collectibles. Bye, guys.
Yeah, thank you.